in the very early 1960s. I was maybe 13 years old, 12, 13 years old when I learned this. The guy who sang this was in a duo with his wife. They called themselves Ian and Sylvia. Yeah. But in all of the really hot singers in Greenwich Village that were walking around in the early 60s wearing blue jeans and trying to act like they were for real, he was the real banana. Ian Tyson had been a working cowboy up in Canada, and he was the real banana, married Sylvia. They had a few records, they divorced. Ian is still out west doing it. He's still up in Canada cowboying, but he still sings a lot of jobs a year. I used to be the folklorist out in the state of Colorado. I was what was called Colorado State Folklorist before I came here. And I was one of the people that helped start a thing called the Cowboy Poetry Gathering that happens every January in Elko, Nevada. And to this very year, every year since 1985 when the Poetry Gathering started, Ian Tyson is the bar man at the Stockman's Motor Lot where we all stay. So he's still doing it. He's still singing great cowboy music, great cowboy music. Still punches cows time to time up there in Canada and Alberta. Not standing up. Four strong winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run dry, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm never back this way. Guess I'll go out to Alberta. Well, things look good there in the fall. I got some friends that I can go to working for. Still, I wish you'd change your mind if I ask you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times or more. Four strong winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm never back this way. If you get there for the snow flies, and if things are looking good, you can meet me if I send you down the fair. But by then it would be winter, not too much for you to do, and the wind it sure blows chilly way out there. Four strong winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. I think maybe tomorrow, but I know he's here one day. Once a year I bring an old dear friend in, a man I've known, I don't even know how many years, 40. And he never finished college where I went at Bloomington, Indiana. He got hired to be the head of the Archive of Folk Song at the Library of Congress. And if you have your choice of staying and being a four-star graduate student, or being the head of the archive of folk song at the Library of Congress, you go for the head of the archive. He came here, I bring him in once a year to play here, his name's Joe Hickerson. And he came here and sang a song that we're about to sing. And at the end of the evening, David Bowell, who lives in this community, walked up and said, Alan Lomax, the folklorist, collected that song from my grandpa. And Joe Hickerson said, no, that was collected in Kentucky from a guy named G.D. Bowell. And David said his name was Gafsterson David Bowell. My name's David Bowell. I'm named for him. My grandpa was where Alan Lomax got that song, so you're singing that song because of my grandpa. And Joe loved it. Joe had never known who Mr. G.D. Bowell was. So he loved getting that background. I'm going to change my fingernails.
All righty. Singing harmony with David is always a bit of an adventure. I have to watch his mouth real close because he has a tendency to change the words.
But you can't see my mouth. In fact, we haven't met Jan Davis in this trip. He's our director. Someone said to Jan, very early on in my being here 21 years ago, somebody said, you know, I think David exaggerates the truth from time to time.
No.
How do you know? And he said, well, just watch his upper lip. And when it starts moving.
He's lying. I think your wife said that.
You knew my wife.
Intimately.
Didn't mean to. Bright
David. I'm going to take this opportunity to invite everyone who is going to be here on the 26th, another great community event that happens every year. The Lick Clog Players Community Theater in Hayesville has their summer musical, and this year it's going to be at the Hayesville High School Auditorium, circa 1955. So everybody's going back in time to go to see Annie Get Your Gun, produced by the Lick Clog Players in Hayesville. It'll be the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. For those of you who are local or might be coming back, we would love to see you, and it's going to be a great production. And I have to leave so I can go to rehearsal.
All right. Well, I'm going to play with two people tonight. One of them I was married to. The next one I was not married to. Paul Constantine, it's great. We practiced once to do this for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And somebody saw him get in his car and leave in the parking lot. And one woman walked up to me and goes, "That was Leon Russell." I said, "No." And she said, "Well, then it was ZZ Top." I said, "No, no."
She didn't hit Billy Lee Golden, huh? You missed that.
But have a nice hand, Paul Constantine. He lives out on Tusquity, moonshine capital of the world.
Yes, sir.
When I first moved here, I came in from Colorado. Like I said, there is no moonshine in Colorado. Think why? No corn. It's desert. There is no corn, so nothing to make it out of. So I went, "There's moonshine here?" They said, "Yeah." And I said, "I'd really kind of like to just look at the variations in the stills, you know, see how people do this stuff. Where do I go?" And they said, "Just go to Tusquity, knock on any door." So
Only partially true.
Paul and I played this song once. I don't think we did it twice.
Just once.
Just once. Are you in D?
Said, "Mama, gotta go, gotta get
That's a great drinking song. We didn't have any bars here till a year ago. They voted in alcohol at Murphy 1 year ago. I decided to go take a look at one of them bars, so I went to a place called the Joe Brown Highway. It goes up from Murphy up to a place called Texarkana. Walked into the bar there, no one in the bar. I look around. Finally, I see in the kitchen, there's the bartender. It's 12:45, and he's making sandwiches. To put sandwiches on the bar, you know how that works. You go in, you buy a beer, you get a free sandwich. So I'm standing there all by myself, watching the guy make sandwiches, and there's a glass door, so I couldn't hear him, he couldn't hear me. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes a voice that says, "Nice lace-up cowboy boots. Where'd you get them lace-up cowboy boots?" I look around, nobody there. About 5 minutes goes by, I hear somebody say, "Nice vintage tie. That looks like Sputniks. That looks like Russian Sputniks. Nice tie." I look around, nobody there. 5 more minutes goes by. "Nice haircut. Looks like you might need another one pretty soon, but still, nice haircut." I look around, nobody's there. Finally, the cook and the bartender comes walking out with the tray full of sandwiches. I said, "Look, I've been standing here for 15 minutes. I was the only one in here. I could see you. Your mouth was not moving. I heard some voice say, 'Nice lace-up cowboy boots, nice vintage tie, nice haircut.'" He points at a bowl that's sitting on the bar, and he said, "It's the peanuts. They're complimentary."
Can't no such humor from me. Let's hear some music then. This next song we're going to do was written by a fellow named Jimmy Driftwood. And, oh yeah, you need to check if you were too, yes.
There's another cover band, Joe. There's a lick in the beginning of this. That's musician talk, lick. That means riff. To be more extinct. To be more extinct. There's a riff at the beginning of this that I cannot play.
And I can't either. That's why I invited David.
I shared housing in the early 70s with a rugby player that was trying to learn mandolin. And I said, "Just stick with rugby, you know." But he would sit in front of the TV and do this lick badly again and again and again. And finally I turned the TV off and said, "If you want to learn the mandolin, don't watch TV." You know, but you said you got this from Doc Watson.
Doc Watson actually did this thing, and Doc Watson is probably one of the best flat pickers around. So me not being able to duplicate his lick, I don't feel too bad about that. But I am a working musician. I work 3, 4, 5 nights a week, depending on how lucky I am. This coming week I'll be working 5 days, and actually, but 6 performances I'll be doing 2 on Saturday. I'm working the farmer's market in Murphy, if you can get out there in the morning on Saturday. I go on at 10 and I get off at noon, and then I go home and have a shower and take a nap and go to work in Blue Ridge that night. So.
I actually didn't want to know any of that. I asked him so I could do that. If you didn't notice, I played that riff about 5 more times. All right, we're ready. We're ready.
Okay, 2.
Well, about 1825, I never can see very much alive. And I never would have made it through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been a riding about Tennessee's good. I had me some trouble with my sweet old heart, one of the girls was that outlaw. So I said, "You're a Mr. Mama, and I'll move away on the Tennessee's good." Stud was long and mean, the color of the sun in his eyes were green. He had the good and he had the rough, and all the horse like a Tennessee stud. on the Tennessee stud. The Tennessee stud was down in me. The sun in his eyes for me. He had the blood and he had the blood. The devil was a horse like the Tennessee stud. As a man could be, dreaming of going back to Tennessee. Why you been good in the building, though the eye of the field, Tennessee stood. We don't come back across Arkansas, or go to a road and go to a ball. When I found that girl with the golden hair, she was riding that Tennessee bed. Tennessee stud was down the evening before the sun hit the light to green. He had the blood and he had the blood, but there was a horse like the Tennessee stud. Well, we looked on back across Arkansas, and looked to a brother and looked to a pa. You already did that, didn't you? We came to Big Buddy in the 40 flood on the Tennessee bed, the Tennessee stud. There's a pretty little baby on the cabin floor, a little horse rolled round the door. Oh, I love the girl with the golden hair, the Tennessee stud, the Tennessee bed. The Tennessee stud was long in the world, the sun in his eyes for me. He had the love and he had the blood. There was a horse like the Tennessee stud. In all fairness to David, I never play with anybody. I play with myself. And so, you know, you take a lot of liberties when you're playing with yourself.
I told people that I was opening for Paul Constantine, and they said, well, no, he's closing for you.
We'll do a song here. You find out what key I do it in. The song is Marty Robbins. My dad was a big cowboy music fan. Loved cowboy music. A little Italian guy. New Jersey. Serious. We had a place in Newark, New Jersey called the Mosque Theater, where you could go and see all the acts they were coming into New York. They would stop there if they had a night off. You got to see little Jimmy Dickens, Chet Atkins, Roy Acuff, Roy Clark, and all these fellas. It's kind of how I got involved in doing this. To the town of Bakersfield rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one stopped to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. For the stranger there among them had a big iron on his head, big iron on his head. It was early in the morning when he rode into town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw who's sitting running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business
with the big iron on his head, big iron on his head. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more, 1 in 19 more. How the stranger started talking made it plain folks were right. It was an Arizona ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He was here to take the killer back to life, or maybe dead. He said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red, after Texas Red. Well, it wasn't long before the story was related to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men who tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 could be the ranger with the big iron on his head, big iron on his head. Oh, the morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from their windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death, about to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red not broke the leather when a bullet barely ripped, and the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his head, the big iron on his head. It was over in a moment, and the crowd all gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have gone on living, but he made one fellow slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his head, big iron on his head. Big iron, big iron. Oh, we tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his head.
I'd say go till about 10 till.
Okay.
We need to get the chairs out.
Oh, there's a clock up there.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need to get ready for the dance.
Okay. Let's do this. Mother, Mother Ocean, oh, I have heard you call. I have wanted to sail upon your waters since I was 3 feet tall. You've seen it all. You've seen it all. I watched the men who rode you
switch from sail to steam, and in your belly hold a treasure you have never seen. Most of them dream, most of them dream. Yes, I am a pirate, 200 years too late. Oh, the cannons don't thunder, there's nothing to ponder. I'm an overboated victim of fate, arriving too late, arriving too late. I done my share of smuggling, I won myself some grass. I made enough money to buy up Miami, but I pissed it away real fast. Never meant to last. Never meant to lie. Yeah, I have been drunk now for over 2 weeks. I passed out and I rallied and I smoked a few reefs. I gotta stop wishing, gotta go fishing down at rock bottom again with just a few friends, just a few friends. I go for younger women, I live with several a while. Though I ran away, they'll come back one day. Still can manage a smile, just takes a while. Just takes a while. Mother, Mother Ocean, all these years I've found an occupation hazard beats, an occupation just now found. I feel like I'm drowning, gonna head back uptown. I feel like I'm drowning, gonna head back uptown. Mother, Mother Ocean, we grow a lot of stuff. And this song is for everybody that's growing their own. Written by a fellow named Guy Clark back in 1972. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things in life that money can't buy, and that's true love. Homegrown tomatoes, there ain't nothing in the world that I like better than lettuce and bacon. Homegrown tomatoes, up in the morning, out in the garden, will pick you a ripe one. Don't you get a heart where you plant them in the springtime, eat them in the summer. Winter without them is a killing every bummer. I forget all about the sweating and the digging every time I go out and get a big and homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things in life that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Where you can go out and get them, well, that's for sure. There ain't nothing that a homegrown tomato won't cure. Put them in a salad, put them with some gravy. You can eat them with beans, either pinto or navy. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things in life that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Oh, if I could change this life I live, I'd be Johnny Tomato Seed. I know what this country needs. It's homegrown tomatoes in every yard you see. And when I die, don't bury me in some cold dark cemetery. Go out in the garden wouldn't be much better, where I could be pushing up homegrown tomatoes. Oh, homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'd I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things in life that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Next song I'm going to do for you is a fellow named John Prine, and this story is about the song is about a place in western Kentucky, Eulenburg County, Kentucky, and a coal mining place.
They pull more coal out of Muhlenberg County than they do anywhere else in the world. And the story is that the town of Paradise, which is in Muhlenberg County, got mined out, got mined under, and just basically got hauled away. Not quite true. They built a power plant there, and they couldn't keep the ash out of the town, so the coal company bought the town up and shipped everybody out. But it's a good story.
When I was a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky when my parents were born. There's a backward old town there that's all been remembered so many times that my memories are warm. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. Sometimes we travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Audrey Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles was all we would kill. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. Well, the coal company came with the world's biggest shovel, and they tortured the timber and they stripped out the land. Well, they dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, and they wrote it all down as the progress of man. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. When I die, let my ashes float down the Green River. Let them float right on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. Well, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. Mr. Peabody's coal train done hauled it away. Hauled it away.
I don't know, we got time for a short one, I guess.
Yeah.
Short song, short people. Okay. This song was written by Randy Newman, 1970 something, and one of my many political songs. Don't think anything of it.
Likes us, I don't know why. We may not be perfect, oh, but heaven knows we try. And all around us, even our old friends put us down. Let's drop the big one, see what happens. Give them money, but are they grateful? No, they're spiteful and they're hateful. They don't respect us, so let's surprise them. We'll drop the big one and All the horizon, Asia's crowded, Europe's too old, Africa's far too hot, Canada's way too cold, and South America stole our name. Let's drop the big one, there'll be no one left to blame us, but we'll sell Australia. Don't wanna hurt no kangaroos. We built an all-American amusement park there. They got surfing too. Boom goes in London, boom Paris. More room for you and more room for me. In every city, the whole world round, would just be another American town. Oh, how peaceful it'll be. We'll set everybody free. There'll be a Japanese kimono for you and Italian shoes for me. They all hate us anyhow. So let's drop the big one now. Let's drop the big one now.